So this is an update video on my blackberries. I showed a video last year when I planted my 2 blackberry plants out in my back patio, and I also showed a video of my friend Chris's blackberry plants. He had his trellised up really nice, and so I wanted to do the same thing for mine. So this year, before they started growing like this really well, I took them off the tomato cages that I had them on, which was always temporary, and I put them on these lattices. This is very pretty. It looks so much better. You can look at the video. I'll link it up so you can look at how they were before. It is April the 5th in San Antonio, and they are coming out really well now. And you can even see flowers starting to bloom on them as well. This is the second year I've had them in the ground now. And really what I wanted to show was how I trellis them up, because this really is beautiful. It looks great for a backyard. It really does look nice. I think it brings a centerpiece to my backyard garden here, to where it really does look nice. And so what I did here is I bought these lattices at Home Depot, and there's 2 of them here. Let me pan around to the back and I can show you how I did them. I used these garden T-posts here to actually anchor them in the ground, just like that, and I use zip ties to connect to the lattice right there. And I even have zip ties on some of the blackberry vines as well, to hold them and to basically train them to go where I want them to go, which works really well as well. You can see having flowers starting to come out, all this new growth here. We should have a ton of blackberries. If you look at the other video, you can see just how much more professional, how much nicer this looks. And this really wasn't expensive at all either. So each one of these lattices, I think, were $25. They were actually 4x8, but I thought 8 feet was a little too tall, because I want to be able to reach the blackberry plants. So I actually took my clippers and I cut off 2 feet of the height. And then they also come with these here to connect the lattice to. It falls into a groove, which worked really well. And I cut these off as well. And these are about 6 to 8 inches in the ground, but that still was not enough support because it's just plastic. And so that's why I use the T-posts, one on each side and then one in the middle, to anchor and hold it down really well. And the T-posts are a good 8 inches or so in the ground as well, holding it really secure. And so the last thing I wanted to just show and talk about is the growth, for the new growth in the blackberry plants. So if you look down here, these are new shoots coming up from the ground here, and these actually just started coming up about a week ago. I actually came out and I dug out about 2 inches of mulch here, and I found these little baby shoots about that big, a few of them on each plant. And so that's the new shoots trying to grow for next year. And so I exposed them to the sunlight so they could grow easier, and after just about a week they are growing very well. You can see here the new growth there, and the same thing on this side. It has a lot of new growth as well. And so what happens here is that these vines that are trying to grow here will actually be what the blackberries grow on next year. The blackberries will always grow on second year's vines. So what they grow on this year, I'll actually be cutting and throwing out. And then all of this growth here will be what I then trellis up throughout the whole trellis for next year, which will be going blackberries for next year. And then I have my watering system here. If you look here, I've got my timer on. It's off right now because it's been raining, but I got my timer, and that feeds water all the way through. And there is silker hose, which waters my blackberries and my peach tree here, and then also waters my garden as well. And I also use fertilizer, Master Blend, to fertilize them. Master Blend is really good because it's low in nitrogen, because too much nitrogen will prevent flowers from blooming, and it's high in phosphorus and potassium, which helps flower growth. And that's really what I use for all of my everything that I use, everything that I have in the garden or trees, anything that produces flowers, I use Master Blend. It's water soluble. You can buy it on Amazon. It's a very good product. All right, so that is my blackberries. That is the update. I hope all of you have a good day, and thank you very much for watching.